to do GBP USD gold and an NZDCAD, whereby I'll be showing you guys how I'm looking at the market and probably what I'm expecting this market to be doing next week. So normally before doing anything else, I try to understand first of all what the market is doing from the bigger time frame. I start my analysis from the daily time frame. Then I go down to the smaller time frame and try to understand from what the market is doing there. So today I want us to start from analyzing this NASDAQ, NZDCAD, and see what the market has been doing and probably what might be happening next week. So the first thing, I'm gonna go to the bigger time frame. That's 1 month time frame, and we understand what the market is doing from there. Then again, now we come down to the smaller time frame and see. And also guys, you normally want to identify your key areas also from the bigger time frame, at least so that you can know what you're targeting and where the market is playing at that moment. So like right now, this is my monthly time frame down here. So we are this monthly time frame, and you can see already from the structures that I had, we had this resistance up here, then we have this support down here. So which means that this market giving us these lower highs and lower lows, it's on a downtrend. When we see the market is on a downtrend from the monthly time frame, so we just have our trend lines just like this. Then after having our trend lines like these, we'll go down to the smaller time frames like the weekly. Let's go to the weekly time frame and see probably what the market is doing there. So from the weekly time frame, we're still seeing these bearish structures. The market is giving us these impulse moves and corrections all the way down there, forming these higher highs and these lower lows and lower highs. Then seeing this, the kind of structure that we have at this point, we'll go to the immediate structure where the market is at. Then we draw our trend lines there and see where the market is playing. So from this point, we're seeing that this market is on this uptrend at this point. You see, we have an uptrend at this point. So this was our first touch down here. Then it gave us a second touch at this point. Then at this point, we're having a third touch. And also, guys, if you can look at this market at this point, it's giving us something like these. We had these reversal patterns down here. We'll go down to the smaller time frame again and see this clearly. So you can see the kind of structure the market is giving us this point, which is a sign of the market giving us that kind of continuation patterns that is giving us at that point. And also from this weekly time frame, you can see we had an impulse move from down here. We had this impulse move. The market gave us this impulse move from down here, went straight up there. Then after that, we had a correction, whereby we saw this market breaking above this correction area, and again gave us this reversal pattern at this point before it broke. And also you can see the way it's breaking above this area. It broke above this correction area with this impulse move. And I normally tell you guys that whenever you see an impulse move, that means that the market has to give you a correction before it continues pushing to the upwards or wherever direction the market is going. Like if you can look at this market at this point, it broke above this area with this impulse move, and again it came all the way to this key area that we had at this point. Because if you look at this place clearly, you can see we have a resistance area at this point, whereby the market came all the way to this area, then gave us this correction that we're expecting from this point. So probably what might be happening at this point is the market is giving us an impulse move again. This may go all the way, up here, because again we have another resistance area at this point. So probably this where I expect this market to be coming to. But this from the bigger time frame, this broke from the bigger time frame. So if you're swinging it, means that this can be a very valid setup for you to be looking at. So we'll go again to the smaller time frame. And see from the daily time frame what's happening there. Let's see what is happening from the daily time frame. And now this is where I want us to start drawing maybe our immediate key areas, the ones that we'll be expecting this market to be reacting to this week. So again, this is what we're looking at from the daily time frame. From the daily time frame perspective, this is what we're looking at. We see we had this impulse move from down here. Again, we had this correction at this point. We broke below this downward channel at this point. There's this channel that we had here. There's this channel the market gave us at this point. So it broke above that one with that impulse move again. So right now what might be happening, we might be saying right now what is happening is a correction, probably because at this point it gave us these three touches. We had these three touches, and you can see, guys, how the market is approaching this support that we have down here. You see at this point it gave us a reversal patterns before it continued pushing to the upward, and again at this point before pushing to the upward it gave us this reversal pattern down here. So probably what we should expect at this point, it might come down, it might come down to this area, maybe to give us something like this. And again, if you look at this market clearly from this point, you can see it's giving us this inverse head and shoulder. So there's a possibility of it coming down and giving us this structure like this before it continues pushing to maybe where we're expecting it to go all the way there. And again, it might come all the way down here. So if it fails to respect this area that we have at this point, so which means it will break below this area, and we'll expect to look at how it will be reacting around this area that we have down here. So at this point from the daily time frame, this is what has happened already. You can see, let me zoom this just right like this. You can see from the previous day, this was on Friday. On Friday, you see we had this bearish engulfing candlestick at this point. Then before this, we had this doji that was formed at this point. So when you see this market, when you look at the market at the moment right now, it's giving us this bearish momentum, and you can see already it has broken below this upward channel that we had at this point. So when you see the market giving you this kind of structure, there are two things that can happen at this point. So you see, first of all, let's go to the 4-hour time frame so that I can show you what's happening there. You see, from Friday, this is what the 4-hour time frame gave us. We had this strong bearish momentum at this point. And again, I told you, when you see the market giving you an impulse move, you should normally expect maybe it should give you a correction or a correction or a retracement before probably continue to push into whatever direction we were having. So you can see at this point it gave us it broke below these lower highs that it had already created at this point. We had this higher low at this point. We had this higher low that it had created at this point, and you see this higher low again became a support. You see it played around this area for maybe a little bit of time before you see this big candlestick closing below these areas with that bearish engulfing candlestick. Then you see we broke below this correction, this upward channel that we had at this point, giving us this bearish structure, whereby when we see this kind of structure, maybe we see that this market has now reversed to the downside, and there's a possibility it might continue pushing to the downside. So what we normally do at this point is we try to wait for this market at least to give us a correction after breaking. You see, it broke below this area with an impulse move, and after breaking below this area with an impulse move, so probably for us to have the best place for us to take our entry is maybe wait for it to go up a little bit and give us a correction. Maybe we should wait it to go up a little bit before it gives us a correction and push to the downside, guys. So probably if I'm looking at this market, I may expect it to go all the way to this area to give me a correction from this area. Then I wait for it to give me maybe a reversal pattern or enough confluences for me to take a sell from this point up here. The reason I could wait for this market to come all the way up here is because again using the Fibonacci tool, going all the way up to this point means that this is 78 7861 area at this point. This is the 7861 area, which is normally very crucial to me when looking at the market. So looking at this is a 6178 area at this point. So, and again, when we look at this point, we had this resistance that the market broke below, so which means the market might come all the way to this area, maybe before pushing to the downside at least. So that's how I'm looking at this. That's how I'm looking at this NZDCAD. So maybe tomorrow this market might come all the way to this area, give us that kind of reversal pattern. So if it does this, if it gives us this kind of structure, which means at this point we'll be looking how the market will be reacting around this area. We should wait, at least it gives us a confirmation, maybe have enough reasons for you to take the entry at this point, because if it gives us that entry, that will mean that we have a possibility of us pushing all the way, maybe to look at this area as our first target. Then after that, then we see again how it will react around that area before probably pushing to the downside, because there's a possibility of it coming all the way down here. It might come all the way down here. Let me go to the 4-hour time frame, so that so it might come all the way to this area that we have down here, because this is where it might come all the way to this area. Then after that, probably it might continue pushing upwards, because this is where we saw we might have this right shoulder that we had our left shoulder at this point. These are probably where we might have our right shoulder. So that's how I'm looking at the NZDCAD. I want to go to the DXY dollar index, look at what the dollar index is doing. Then we look at gold. Then after that, we wait for the market to open. Then we see if we can find the best entry. So from the previous day, from the previous week, the DXY, the dollar index, was on a downtrend. So like the whole of last week, this dollar index was on a downtrend. Then on Friday, we had NFP, whereby this market gave us this strong bullish momentum at this point, breaking above this correction. Breaking above this downtrend that we had at this point. So probably what we expect, because at this breaking above this area, we can see again down here where the market was, it reacted around a key area that I was having from the bigger time frame. Looking at this support area that I have here, I had this support area from the weekly time frame. Then again, if you go to the daily time frame, you can see this now clear, because you can see this strong support area that we have at this point. And since the market came to this area and failed to break below this area for the first time, then again went up, came down again to test this area, and it failed to break above this below this area. And again, you can see this kind of reversal pattern that it gave us down here before continuing pushing to the upward. And also, if you can look at this market from the previous time, from the previous maybe weeks, we were having this inverse head and shoulder down here. Let me show you. So we were having this inverse head and shoulder at this point, and again you saw the market broke above this inverse head and shoulder. It broke above the neckline of this inverse head and shoulder, gave us this correction at this point. After giving us this correction, now you see it pushed all the way up with this impulse move. So what was happening around this area, the reason why you're seeing the market consolidating around this area for a very long period of time, is because we were having this correction. So you can see right now the market has already broken above this correction area, which means there's a possibility of this market giving us this another impulse move, probably, or all the way up here. Then again we'll be looking how it will be reacting around that area, which means now the whole of this month, probably, or the whole of next week, I'll be looking at this DXY in a bullish way. So which means my bias on this will be bullish, which means on the other dollar index pairs, like GBP USD and gold and Euro USD and other dollar pairs, I will be looking for sell entries in that market, because you can see from the previous NFP that we had, it gave the dollar strength, which means we might be seeing the dollar pushing all the way up there. during next week or the following week. So what we should expect, what I'm expecting tomorrow, when the market opens, at least I expect after this market giving me these bullish engulfing candlestick at this point, and you see breaking above these key areas that we have at this point, so at least I should expect the market to give me a correction. Then after giving me a correction, I'll start looking for maybe more signs to see if the market has now finished giving me that correction before pushing to the upwards. Because I've told you, when you're looking at the market and you're seeing it's giving you something, this kind of structures, you should expect, you see the market giving you an impulse move, you should normally expect a correction. And also I want to look at some other reasons. Why I'm having a bullish bias in these DXY. You see, at this point we had this double bottom down here, and you know double bottom, that when the market is giving you that double bottom, that is at least a reversal pattern. Then again, this from the daily time frame. Then again, we'll go down to the 4-hour time frame and try to find as many reasons as possible to take this, maybe to have this bias. So you see, again, after having this one, again, I've told you we had this inverse head and shoulder at this point. Then there's another reason. Then we see the market rejecting around this support that we have at this point. So I'll go to the 4-hour time frame and try to find more entries why, or more reasons why the market is behaving this way at this point. So again, from this 4-hour time frame, we had this downtrend that we were having all the way from down up here to this area. You saw the market broke above that area, and it broke above this immediate lower high it had created at this point. Breaking above this immediate lower high that it had created at this point, this was because of the NFP that gave the dollar strength last week on Friday. So what I'm expecting after breaking above this area, now I'm expecting at least to have something like this. Maybe it might push all the way to this area down here before giving us that break out of that correction area, and probably give us something like this kind of reversal pattern at this point before. And again, now we take our entry after it has taken out this lower high that it might create at this point, then push all the way to the upwards. So that's the possible scenario that can happen at that point. And again, if that doesn't happen, then again, at least what I'll be doing is I'll be waiting for it to give me these kind of structures. If that doesn't happen, which means I will still be waiting. I won't be taking any kind of trades in the market. So after understanding this, what the DXY is doing, after understanding this was what the DXY is doing, I want us to go to gold and see probably what it will be doing. So probably, because if this is what will be happening from the DXY, that means that in the gold market we'll be having those long-term sell entries probably from there, because you can see again, from my previous videos, I did a video explaining how I'm looking at gold. I did analysis all the way from the yearly time frame coming all the way down to the 1-hour time frames. And again, at this point, I want us to start our analysis from the weekly time frame and try to see what the gold market is giving us. So looking at the weekly time frame at this point, I had my key areas marked at this point. So we had this was my first key area, because you see this a strong resistance area that we had at this point. So we had this strong resistance area up here, this supply zone. So that's our supply zone. Then we have our demand zone down here, whereby you see the market coming to this area, it gave us these double tops at this point. So we have these double tops at this point. We having this double top giving us that bearish mentality. So probably seeing this kind of pattern, this reversal pattern, and we're seeing it from the bigger time frame, which means it's very powerful. And again, after that we are seeing this market giving us this bearish engulfing candlestick at this point from the weekly time frame again. So after giving us this bearish engulfing candlestick, we'll go down. Maybe I'll just mark some of my key areas that I'm looking at from this weekly time frame. Then I'll go down to the daily time frame and we try to see how these structures are looking there. So these are the key areas that I'll be looking at. So if this market closes below, if next week this market closes below this area that we have at this point, you see this is a strong support that we had from the previous structure that the market had created. So if this market closes below this area on during the next week, during the next trading week, which means there'll be a possibility of the market coming all the way. We might come again to test this area that we have at this point down here. We might come down here, so that's after breaking below this area. So it might come all the way down here temporarily before coming again all the way to this area where we had a neckline from that previous inverse head and shoulder the market had already given us at this point. So this is the inverse head and shoulder that I'm talking about. See, from the previous year the market gave us this kind of inverse head and shoulder at this point before breaking above this neckline and continue to push the upper. So probably it might come all the way to this area, and again if I use my Fib tool, if I use my Fibonacci tool, it's telling me that these are around 5061 area at this point, which is normally a key area which I normally look at when trying to find trying to understand what the gold market is doing. So if you can look at this area, this 6178 area, so the market might come all the way down to this area, which is my 6178 area. And again you can see it is a key area for me because again you can see it is on a strong support, which was the neckline of this head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder, that was violated at this point. So I want to go to the daily time frame. And maybe we try to understand what the market might be doing probably tomorrow and what we should be expecting to look at next week, the whole of next week. So from the bigger time frame, from the weekly time frame, we've seen the market giving us that double top, then we have that bearish engulfing candlestick. So after looking at that, coming to this daily time frame, we still see the market is giving us this we're having this bearish trend at this point. So the market is on a downtrend at this point from the daily time frame, and again you see the market giving us this head and shoulder at this point. We have this head and shoulder at this point, whereby this is our left shoulder. Because on Friday the market gave us this right shoulder at this point before pushing all the way down here with this bearish engulfing candlestick that happened as a result of the NFP giving the dollar strength. Then again if you look at these double tops at this point, then again the market gave us this impulse move. So the pre around this area, because we had this impulse move all the way from up here, then played around this area for a few days before breaking above this area and going up a little bit and giving us this right shoulder that we had at this point. And again when the NFP came in, pushed the market all the way down there. So at least looking at this market from the weekly time frame and the daily time frame, we have at least 5 reasons why we are going bearish in this market. We have at least 5 confluences. Then again we'll try to find some other more confluences before probably deciding what might be happening in the market. Remember, we only react to what the market is giving us. We might have our opinions, but if the market doesn't tell us that way, we have to respect that. So you can see we had this now clear from the smaller time frame. You see from the 4-hour time frame is showing us we had this impulse move from all the way up here. We had these corrections that were happening at this point. Then the market gave us this break out of this impulse move that we had at this point. So this is a correction. See the market breaking out of this correction area and pushing all the way down here with this impulse move. So probably what might happen again, we might be expecting this market to give us another impulse move before we continue pushing to the downside. Because if you look at this market down here, this again where the market is, this is a strong support that we had from the daily time frame, whereby you're seeing this market areas that I've shown you from the daily pushing to the downside, may give us something like this. So maybe on Monday we may have some people going in for some sales, buy entries at this point, go up a little bit, come down, give us that double bottom at that point, then go up a little bit, break above that area, then we might expect at least it may give us those buy entries probably to this area up here, because this is a strong resistance that we have at this point. Then if it does this, probably the following day, which will be on Tuesday, and probably or on Wednesday, we might have that break below this correction area before the market again gives us another impulse move. So this is how I'm looking at gold. This is how I'm looking at gold. If it does this, which means we'll have some good opportunities for us to take these entries and maybe benefit from that. So thank you for watching, guys. This is Profit Night signing out. Make sure you join my free Telegram channel. The links are in my bio. See you when the market opens. Adios.